Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Strange Days True Crime, where we look at stories of unsolved disappearances, murders, and unidentified in the hopes that one day they'll be solved. The strange unsolved disappearance of Jon Jake Morgan. Jon Jake Morgan was born on July 15th of 1997 to his mother, Michelle Zartner, and his father, John. And John, who sometimes went by Jake, had an older sister as well. Growing up, John was described as great fun and always willing to help others before himself, and could be crazy at times, but was a great person with a big heart. As a child, John was very active and into sports, as well as wrestling, and even participated in wrestling tournaments. 22-year-old John was living just outside of Weyauwega, Wisconsin in 2020 and was working at an A&W in Wautoma. John did not drive and had a friend whom wanted to remain anonymous who would drive John to and from work, as the two were very close. It is uncertain if this woman and John were dating, but some believe they were. On Sunday, March 8th of 2020, John's mother Michelle received a call from John's father stating that no one had spoken with John for 2 days, and this was strange, as John was always in contact with his friends and family. John's social media had also gone silent, which was also strange, as he was constantly on his social media accounts. John had simply vanished. John's mother Michelle was living in Arizona with her sister Christine, even though both of her children still resided in Wisconsin, where she once lived. After receiving the phone call from John's father, Michelle and Christine began calling John's friends in Wisconsin and taking to Facebook asking if anyone had seen or heard from John, but no one had. Michelle and her sister Christine would fly to Wisconsin from Arizona. John was reported missing to the Waupaca County Sheriff's Department, and Detective Traeger was assigned to the case and began investigating John's disappearance. On Thursday, March 5th of 2020, John was working his shift at A&W until 5:30 p.m. and was then picked up by the woman who drove him back to his home and then left. John and this woman would be texting back and forth till around 11:30 that night. John would make one last post on Facebook that night as well. John would later be picked up around 12:30 by an old female classmate whose name was not released, and it was believed the pair went back to her home in King. King is a small community just west of Waupaca. At approximately 2:30 a.m. on Friday, March 6th, the female classmate and John were seen on video surveillance at a gas station in the Waupaca area. It is believed that after this they headed back to the female classmate's house. John would phone the other female friend around 3:28 a.m. to arrange a ride to work later that day. John would later send a text and receive a text around 5:15 a.m. However, this text message was never opened. The female friend that was to give John a ride to work lives in the same area as John and stated that John never showed up to her house to get a ride to work. A&W also confirmed that John never made it to work that day and has never come back to collect his paycheck. All calls to John's phone would go straight to voicemail. Investigators have stated that it was confirmed that John was with the female classmate for several hours, but it is unknown if anyone else was present at the house of the classmate. The female classmate had told investigators that John had simply walked out the door of her home around 8 a.m. on Friday, March 6th, and this was the last time she claimed to have seen or spoken with John. But it is worth noting that it would have taken Jon around 5 hours to walk to his home from King. Detectives believe that there may have been another person at the female classmate's home at some point during the time Jon was there. The home where Jon was last seen is located next to a popular bar named Wally's Bar in Wapaka. Months after Jon's disappearance, detectives were granted a search warrant for the home of the female classmate where Jon was last known to be. It was stated that the state crime lab did a search of the home and did some minor digging outside of the home, but never used cadaver dogs. It was also stated that the investigators would not confirm on whether or not anything was found. Investigators continued to search for answers into the strange disappearance of Jon, and have stated there is a group of individuals they would like to speak with. However, the group do not want to cooperate with investigators or talk with them. It was stated that Jon battled addiction and was on probation at the time of his disappearance and had an active probation warrant, but no evidence was found to lead investigators to believe that Jon was trying to avoid being arrested on the warrant. Michelle had stated that even though Jon struggled with addiction, he was on his way to sobriety. Investigators have stated that they have a good idea of what may have happened and believe that it was an accident, and those involved were scared and did not want to involve police. It is a small community of around 2,000, and investigators believe someone knows what happened to Jon. A billboard was put up in the area about Jon's disappearance, and his family have also set up a Facebook page dedicated to Jon in the hopes that someone will come forward with information on Jon, as well as offering a $10,000 reward for information leading to the arrest of those involved in Jon's disappearance. Jon Jake Morgan was 22 years old at the time of his disappearance and was last seen on March 6th of 2020. Jon is approximately 6'1", weighing around 160 pounds, with slim build and having brown hair and blue eyes. Jon has a small scar on his left eyebrow, and his tongue and ears are pierced. Jon also has a tattoo on his right calf from his knee to his ankle. Jon's last known location was a home near Wally's Bar in King, Wisconsin. He was wearing blue jeans, a dark blue or black hoodie with a Nike logo on the front, brown shoes, a gray stocking cap, and a blue and gray jacket. Jon also had with him a drawstring backpack. Jon's family has also hired a private investigator named Kevin Rogers from Magnum Investigations Plus, and he can be reached at 715-524-9044 or emailed at magnumi@prontomail.com. Jon is also on the National Missing and Unidentified System, NamUs, case number MP 68506. If you have any information on Jon's case, please contact the Wapaka County Sheriff's Department at 715-258-4466, or if you wish to remain anonymous, call Crime Stoppers at 1-888-258-9955. Please share and help bring Jon home to his family. Well, that's it for this one. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories of these strange days we live in.